dozing right along. So previously, base moved out to some opportunities. Base encountered a couple of problems. Base is having a time. There are adjustments to be made. Base will be fine. Base just needs some corrections. So I need to unbrake my, my steam turbines that I have tentatively set up. See if I can get them to behave themselves in a reasonable manner. Hopefully, switching these ones over to being made of steel and having them operate with more thermal mass around them will do most of the work. If not, there are other approaches that can be driven for. I should change how this thing is wired a little. Probably. Or no, it seems to be kind of behaving itself now. There's a lot about the hydrogen steamer device that could be tuned differently. To be determined. At the moment, the dozer is offline. Power issues are among the issues afflicting the base. You know, next to the food issues. And the other general life issues. Let's see, how much slime do we have? 7 tons of slime. If I take some of our clay and spin out even more... Well, it's too hot over there. It's the right amount of hot over here. Get some more mushrooms installed. Down here in the current carbon pit. At least we have Wild Lamp here to help keep these going, even during the power crisis. Free-range chlorine bubbling about wherever it so chooses. Hey, how'd you get damaged? Carbon fridge. Carbon fridge, why you misbehaving? The ongoing interesting times. Alright, so other fixins to be had. One thing that did occur to me is the problem with the constant scalding water from trying to access the swamp here. Well, the initial response was to just kind of lock that off. But I think we can regain use of the checkpoint reasonably well. If I just kind of poke holes in the floor of it. Allow the fluid to drain out. And then the heat can be handled better down here, but it'll just kind of seep into the floors and walls and be on its way. Still had admirable success at decontaminating the entire swamp pit. Power crisis, though, where more of my hatch have died off. Ow. What killed the right-hand hatch? Like, come on, you guys don't have substances you care about. You just need to stay fed. It's not like this chlorine bubble that's wafting around is what's causing a problem. Base is just being weird. But I need to restore oxygen pressure. The oxidizer has suffered too much, the electrolyzer has suffered too much downtime. There are several machines that I could shut down in order to try and prioritize what energy is going where. But that sounds a bit like quitter talk. Okay, the turbines are back. They're still running over hot, but they're getting some uptime. They're barely overheating instead of constantly, egregiously overheating. I have options for this. Especially since they're just getting to 100. So if I put some stank water in here and used that to circulate. just put this into thermal contact with more of the surrounding rock. Just need to make the whole thing work, and then that's free power forever. Imagine. Now, the issue being how to be sure I use swamp water rather than just standard water, or do I trust the coolant to stay under the temperatures of the turbine itself? Just from the sheer amount of time that'll give it to wander around out here. I mean, it's still quite warm out here, but it's not steam boiler temperature. For now. Indeed. Yeah, if I just put any water into the circulating loop here. They're trying. They're doing their best. A printable. More emergency food. Everyone lives for another day. I'll take that. I have cut off this thermostat for now. Someday it will return. Opening up access to the ice biome here does mean that we are venting the barest bit of heat from the swamp boiler. just slightly. Okay, good. Carbon fridge is operating smoothly again. Is it not the thermoregulator that's damaged here? This pipe is damaged. Somebody get on that. Oh, the gold volcano's back. Good. We have metal supplies. Let's lock this door for the moment. We'll avoid touching gold volcano until later. There will probably be an opportunity on its next dormancy to actually go in here and build a power chamber. Hydrogen is on for another 73 cycles, so we have that energy going for us. In time, we will bake this swamp. And the chilling pool remains quite healthy. I don't think I need airlocks on the septic tank anymore. I can let this oxygen back out. It is an Orbish day. Okay, yeah. And I think it was during last session that the swamp boil defeated the remaining slime long pretty effectively. There are these tiny pockets left down here, but otherwise the swamp has been purified. Swamp is clean. Okay, let's open this back up so we can go do maintenance on the entire boiling chamber. The suit itself was quite spicy. Yeah, so I want that extra insulative tile. And then, something I'm thinking here is if I take granite is the more abundant local swamp stone. Yeah, so my stopgap for cooling off the turbine here, I think, is to just build a chain of conductive tile down into this hot water. Yeah, something like that. Improve the exchange between the scalding but still liquid swamp basin here and the surrounding steam cloud. Oh, this will also help, because it is putting in material at a lower temperature than boiling, even if it is still quite high. Scalding salt geyser, yeah, that's coolant. Lots of things can be coolant. All the plague ice is melted up here. Yeah, gonna substitute in steel parts over there. Right, irrigation is both solid and liquid feeding of plants. Those are waiting for phosphorite. Which I should have laying around, since sheep. Going to remain out of dirt for a very long time. Unless... Well, okay, I did queue up wood harvesting. It just hasn't happened yet. Really need to solve dirt problem. There is some dirt in the swamp. When you boil algae, you get dirt back. Could be an option. Well, mostly as I need compostable biomatter of some sort. Switching to outhouses wouldn't do it. Outhouses actually destroy some material. Those are dirt negative. Returning to the ethanol distillery would be the main positive dirt source. Using more water sieves? Because those flip sand into stank dirt, and thus in turn into regular dirt. And I have many sand. Which also, that's something that I have ongoing slowly, because I have the water recycling set up. If I actually started trying to switch more water back to clean, though. There's many options to consider here. Or wait, out here is where sedimentary becomes more common. Saving on build time kind of takes a priority over trying to optimize material properties. They're doing their best. They're slowly improving. As I gradually get more thermal shenanigans going on here, they are chundering forward. I'm going to stop crushing eggshells. Those could be compost instead. Stay safe, Rowan. At least with this setup, even though people are getting constantly injured, they at least collapse from their wounds inside the base, where they're more usually retrieved. Rowan should be fine. Rowan is finding the few remaining traces of slime lung. It's fine, though. They're dying off. There's no stank air in here. Swamp is contained and can never escape. How they're getting wounded inside the suits is that the suits have themselves been superheated from sitting in boiling water for so long. I need coolant inside the suit dock. We'll have to get them hooked up to a chilling loop of some sort. Oh good, all the former hot water has been... No, not all of it. It's among the things that power interruptions keep disrupting. The coolant migration is on that list. Really, the thing that would more directly fix this is going in and performing surgery. Partially block off these so that they can operate from higher temperature steam. Get more liquid in there to act as more of a thermal sponge. Have some thermal plating on the walls of the steam chamber to provide more thermal mass in the interior. But all of that involves the inconvenience of opening up the chamber again. If it can be fixed from out here, I think that that's worth saving the hassle of going in there. Alright, so having a coolant tube come out over here and come back over here. And then I'll need to prime it with liquid. By whatever means necessary. No one finished building the cooling loop, the new cooling loop for industry. I do keep distracting them with these constant priority 10 emergency revisions to the exterior. That does happen here. We seem to have the famine partially under control. Maybe. Maybe. Probably. And I'm willing to throw all of this liquid in there? Maybe. The salt water might not be wise to put into the coolant tubes. That will probably explode. Any combination of standard and gross water, though. Those are workable. Alright, so we got the hot plates. Yeah, those put a bit of a dent in the temperature on the steam turbine. Down to 103, where it was like 110 earlier. And now the salt water is building up. Interesting. Will salt fix this? Probably not. But what if? Just a nice healthy salt boil. Alright, these can go behind ladders. Just try to extend a radiator up into the ice biome a little. If I start collecting that salt, it would be good for morale. Hey, look, I broke a thing. Unbreak that thing. That thing is probably of importance. Yeah, that powers a couple relevant things. Someone do that. Oxygen is back. Nice to see air pressure is alive. I now have one tiny mote of coolant circulating behind these turbines. There it goes. So if I poked open this... Drop some more of this cooler water down here. That'll let the pump operate. First lumber harvest successful. Small amounts of lumber exist. Yeah, so if I create the ethanol distiller somewhere, like comfortably in the basement. Then I'd need to deliver a heavy power line also into the basement without causing a hassle. Petrol could live.
Petrol must live.
For now, though, Steam. I remain invested in Steam. Steam seems capable. We just need to equalize Steam.
So the turbines can get too hot, but they're not taking damage.
Yes, they have a separate overheat that is not their breaking temperature. Just, they can't spin.
Gotcha.
It will fail to generate power if the body of the turbine is above boiling, because it can't condense. Makes things real weird. Okay, the alternate way to do this. Do you have this old pipe that I was going to use to prime the first steam chamber there? Before it found its own way. What if instead I just take this on a journey? Build another longer pipeline that gets to where I need it. Then I can just load that up with even a small amount of water from the old base. Oh, I could reactivate science as well, though, because there's the handful of new things that came out with the morale pack. I'm unlikely to implement them for a while, but I may as well learn of them. Because my dupes don't have enough things to do. Gotta pile on more and larger tasks.
I appreciate that polluted water over there on the left that keeps on wiggling.
Very energetic polluted water. Just loves what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, coal lives again. We successfully harvested any coal from the hatches. The hatch population might be rebounding. That is one of the ways to end our energy crisis.
hatches just need to become more productive.
Yes, the hatches needed to be cold because they had all become sage hatches and eaten all of our dirt, which caused the food crisis.
Right.
We want to stick with standard hatch or maybe stone hatch. Hey. Hey, Pipe. About that command that was given. There. Yeah, I could probably close that valve back down again. Enough liquid is going to buffer in the tube. That it should be a good and helpful mass for turbine cooling. Hold up. When did that one get reset? Okay, automation. Yeah, this is our set. This is our switch on the steam. Yeah, there we go. Ghosts. Well-known property of thermostats, that they are haunted.
Yeah. They will always get nudged up, one more than you set them to, or one less. It's not your fault. Every thermostat just has an internal ghost that messes with it. You know, it's...
Fundamental to how they work.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have our first ton of dry ice sitting in the carbon freezer, hanging out. Carbon fridge is a highly successful project. pull the CO2 into the basement, and then we get to work. What is the purpose of Carbon Fridge? You're looking at it. It's freezing the carbon. It's frozen now. It's harmless. Spending power to create even more temperature gradient. What more do you need? All right, springing back to mind. So under automation here, this is an extremely powerful tool that I just sort of glanced past in the past and didn't think about. But so if you use automation signal to control doors, when the door is offline, it goes into locked, and duplicants will not be able to path through it. As far as they're concerned, it has become a wall and no longer exists. The checkpoint doesn't have that property. It's still open space. But it will just restrict and temporarily withhold travel, also for a very small amount of power. So you can use this to create setups for like fancier airlocks where you have people step in, do something, and then when conditions are good, only then let people step past. So like if this vacuum chamber were slightly longer, I would have it so that it only lets them step forward and be on their way after I've successfully pulled vacuum. Or let them only step in if I know there's no contamination in the antechamber. Some coolant has entered the turbine. It's trying.
It's doing its best.
Every step we make things a little less bad for the turbine. Give it another care package. And most importantly, with resolving the power crisis, the chillers are online. The chillers are cycling. Okay, industrial cooling loop is complete. I can get that primed with this charge of liquid. Use that to start mitigating temperatures down here in Industry Zone again. And I could just as well let that loop get properly loaded up. That loop in its current form is more likely to stick around. I just need to make sure to guarantee these gaps between all my important infrastructure pipes so that things can hop over and under them as needed. Some of the coal we're sending down is very cold, just from having sat in proximity of the chill dozer for so long.
Chill dozer pipes are so effective.
It's good real estate. Proximity to chill dozer. It's good for health. Here's what
Right.
ails ya, as long as what ails ya is excessive heat.
And not enough cold.
Yes. Which, according to science, all problems are some manner of thermal problem.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when we get down to it, thermal's just energy, right? So, and everything's energy.
All heat's the same.
Mm-hmm. Heats is the same, and energy is the same in the end, so no problem. There's that dark stuff, but we don't talk about that. That's the
That's just ghosts.
that's ghosts. Yeah.
Hey, Coolant Pipe, are you doing your thing? Are you doing your thing? You doing a thing, Coolant Pipe? It's doing what it can. We keep getting closer. Okay, now it's stuck in the pipe, though. I have, in fact, sent too much water. And that is now at risk of boiling. It happens. Just means I need to extend loop. Even this current level of chundering is less stalled than it was before. We are getting some usable wattage out of these now. It's half fixed. It's fine. This will also improve performance, since there's even more surface area for the loop to be in contact with. Coolant that gets back is probably more cold, probably less hot. Yeah, it's managing to drop like 40 degrees after its journey. Although now I've created a flow problem. Created a knot. Yeah, it's supposed to be coming back from up here. Hmm. So what I want here, really, snip this. Water will come out here, flip all of these bridges, and cut this input pipe entirely. And just where do you think you're going, children? Come on, team. Okay, good. You're picking up material. That is the one excuse.
One of them's a little bit beat up.
It happens. That's just the lifestyle. Some days you just get crisped. How it goes. Okay, good. I did not overfill this cooling loop. Industrial cooling loop is running healthily and beginning its work of reining in the temperature down in production floor. Which, speaking of, I can actually tear down this old suit checkpoint and I will replace it with insulation, and that will do a lot to improve the thermal situation. All-important last piece of the puzzle. There. Steam turbines are doing their best. And really, getting half uptime in this situation is about as good as I should expect. That's fine. That's functional. They do good work over there. We do have a few chlorine bubbles going on. Oxygen pressure is restored though, so I think everything's going fine. Things is fine. This is a problem. Let me reverse this. That's why there's too much hydrogen up here right now.
Oh boy, there's a lot. Yeah.
This should have been
High
controlled by
pressures.
some kind of valve.
High pressures of hydrogen is a wild thing to think about. It's so empty and light. You need a lot of hydrogen to make high pressures of hydrogen.
And yet here we are. Alright, the dust caps aren't going anywhere anymore. The carbon bubble I had them living in is gone. Could migrate them into the basement. Or not worry about it too much. Bristleberry is catching up. Bristleberry will live soon. Gotta let some of this out, though. I think I can do this the rough way. If I just briefly punch an air hole in the floor and then patch it back up. Just keep an eye on when someone gets around to doing this and watch the wafting. Alright, fine. Food shortage is back on. We had some days of relief from the food shortage, and now the food shortage is with us forever.
How are you gonna solve food shortage? Food shortage. Gotta sort your food.
The fact that we don't have dirt means I can't do regular research until I get a fresh supply of dirt.
Oh my.
What is this hell world I've brought myself into? Alright, we need real dirt solutions
So,
for the
a
future.
ton of composting?
Gotta make ethanol. There's no way around it. Or I find any other source of compostable material. Yeah. A world without dirt. How does this happen? Why didn't science do something about this?
Where are we gonna find more dirt? Dirt doesn't just grow on trees. And trees don't grow here.
We have a small number of trees. We did manage to
Trees
import
don't grow
trees.
here.
Trees don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Trees, they're like skeletons. They're not real.
Alright, this pump has lived its good life. And we can shut it off. It has donated to the cooling pools. That'll do some good.
Beep.
Alright, I think that's enough airflow that this will manually sort itself out now. Near enough to it. There's some dirt right here. Hips do make dirt. They directly convert lumber into dirt. So I don't need ethanol. Just need thousands of cats.
And probably more trees.
Probably more trees. If I had somewhere to grow balm lilies, I could get that set up. Nice hot chlorine pit.
So running out of dirt, huh?
Yeah, it's weird.
Bristle blossoms only need polluted water, right?
Bristle blossoms use regular water.
Ah, okay.
We have those alive and well, and just the fact that I didn't start cultivating them earlier means that the population is very low, so we're waiting for seed chance to catch up.
Gotcha. Ah, someone pissed in the dining room.
Happens
Disgusting.
all the time. Solving the power crisis helps alleviate the food crisis, because now we can incubate.
Doesn't mealwood require dirt?
Mealwood requires dirt.
Right.
Mealwood is dirt consumer. Someone please wrangle this plastic sheep over into the proper habitat. Alright, our token recreational research is managing to happen. Things might be stable now. Ish. Getting that other radiator chain built. That's what will solve this. The swamp boil is going to destroy all of this algae, all this slime. I'll terraform the swamp into dirt. My definitely intentional plan to secure a long-term dirt reserve. Ways I could conserve power. Maybe. Maybe.
Turning off the music?
Maybe.
Doesn't that actually consume like a truly absurd amount of...
Nails, how'd you hit 91 stress? I should split the schedule.
Having a nighttime shift or something like that. Since they have the comfy beds, doesn't that mean that they don't need the 3 hours of sleep anymore?
Maybe.
I think.
On the other hand, the additional sleep hours are probably good for health. They're both allergic to the blossom. I have no night owls. Yeah, I'll extend the overall amount of downtime as a band-aid for stress problems at the moment. Carbon freezer keeps on doing as it do. I could, on principle, start cleaning out my polluted water into regular water. Don't have many specialized reasons for it. That would give me more dirt. On the other hand, yeah, the dig has immediately provided me with a windfall of dirt. Perhaps my ability to dirt generate will improve.
So how do you plan on producing dirt in the future, I guess?
That is the question.
Because you're gonna need it, right? Like, dirt's important.
Where will dirt come from in the future?
Like, there's... So dirt is basically in everything that's polluted, right? That's why it's polluted.
All manner of biomaterial.
Yeah. Could theoretically turn piss into dirt, I think. I'm not entirely sure if that's actually, like, effective or worthwhile, though. Because, like, the numbers on that might be, like, each, ton of polluted water just has a tiny amount in it, and that might not be worth considering at all. Oh, right, the sieves. The sieves are a lot easier to work with, and then you just compost that, right? And bam.
Yes. Yeah, right, I'm taking out this pipe entirely. So I get to keep that bridge and can indeed just use that bridge. I'm gonna decommission the drowning pool. Egg management will involve different plans. Hey, Upper Chiller, how'd you get clogged again? How does this happen? Why is this always how it happens? I won't be powering the left dosing unit for a while. It'll still be good to get it all paid for and installed. I'll just run the one sieve for now. Power's abundant again. Seems like. Seems like, yeah. We're charged up. Food! Yeah, food. Food is everywhere. All of my hatch are going to be quite young. Since they're all, products of the current generation. I'll reinstitute a small amount of mealwood. Mushrooms were doing fine until the atmosphere caught back up with its old position. I would need to migrate them deeper into carbon basement. Hmm. There we go, fix that up. Chilling unit for the swamp air. May as well load the upper loop as well. Yeah, industry loop is starting to do its job. I should get some coolant sent upwise to provide for swamp. Just going to very gently operate this water sieve. Not quite run at full power. Okay, the steam in the swamp atmosphere is starting to recede. There we go. That's the important tipping point that was waiting for recapturing the swamp. The stank air is returning. The steam cloud is contracting. There, that will remove the problem of bursts of steam coming in through the airlock, condensing, and then sitting there being hot water. Alright, we'll prepare a charge of this to load the upper loop. Slime lung will not return. The only remaining pocket of lung is firmly underwater.
Lung defeated. There will be no more lung.
This is clean swamp.
Lungs have been removed.
There's this slime chunk here. If anyone tried to retrieve that, that could be a problem. Seems fine, though. The swamp boil was an unmitigated success. everything went fine. Gonna bring a cooling tube down here. Mixed success. Good times. Still the food thing. Better just crack open another sheep. Ah, this wheel is effectively powering nothing now. I can just decommission this entirely. This little hydrogen removal pump. That can just leave. Someone would just finish that last bit of rail. There it goes. Okay. Upper chiller is unclogged. We are back at full chilling capacity. This will now properly cull all of its extra packets. And hopefully won't immediately clog again. Immediately clogged again. It's terrible backlog on the chilling rails. This will fix it. Let's give myself an override switch to dump the contents of the rail into the pool. Oh, this incubator was never given power. Fix that up right away. Temporary power, though. Need to feed this off of something. Or are we moving? There we go. That might create a small boulder of waste ice here, but probably it's fine. Alright, so I have a charge of coolant going to the upper suit dock now. I already have material for the swamp vent cooler. I just need to close the pipe circuit. And I want to prepare a charge to go into this. Now what's stopping me from re-implementing this mealwood is it's too warm. The farm will catch up eventually. Triumphant. Any day now, food will upgrade from absent to present. Yeah, I think we're gonna be alright here. There was just a backlog that needed to be cleared out. We will do a cycle of mash bars. An old staple of duplicate cuisine, deep-fried mold.
It's good stuff.
It does the body. The thought I had, alongside the fact that this isn't working too great as just a steam turbine, is I could instead use this hot rock as my water purifier for large amounts of water. But if I say block this off so that the liquid out of both of these geysers splashes over onto the hot rock, and then I let the condenser for the turbine actually head on over into a collecting pool and then use the resulting pure water. That'd be a setup. It's a relatively simple way to start harnessing. Take any number of liquid geysers and just convert them into one common substance of hot water. And alright, good. This coolant is moving now. I can seal this up. And then this bit of a swamp chamber here is the last holdout of the local slime lung. So block that up, allow this to decontaminate, and then that is the path I'm going to use to go up to space. Then we'll be looking at space. Maybe there's something edible in space.
Food from space. Incredible.
Delicious vacuum.
Nothing better.
Tastes like fuck all.
'Cause it is. Fuck all.
Same great taste, 0 calories. And I already have the airlock there. Well, probably gonna move that airlock to, like, over here. Or build a whole new one, nearer to space. There's no light here. There is still some additional space rock above before we have access to the sun. And yeah, this is the base that will go to space. I have piloted this base through the famine. Through several problems, I have bothered to disassemble and rebuild a piece of infrastructure in this base. Lived through that, anything is possible. Shielddozer will endure.
Shielddozer will live.
And right, now that I have active cooling up here, one of the plans was to move industrial equipment up over into the recaptured swamp. That's a goal. Oh, hey! Hey, turbines! Look at you going green. Look at you staying below boiling. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. This makes sense. Because the hotter the coolant is, the faster that heat is leaving it while it's on the cold side of the loop. There's some equilibrium point where, like, the coolant and this little chunk of stone tile that's acting as a bit of a heat sink. Once that gets good and hot, it's now venting more effectively off into the water and off into the rest of the planet. $1,700 of steam from Geo. They've caught up. They've hit a breaking point. We have some real steam. Heat source for the steam turbine is this gigantic belt of hot obsidian. This cooled volcano that's down here. And you love to see it. Hey, molten lead. What are you doing down there?
You know, just me molten.
Just liquefying,
Yeah.
flowing. Oh, putting this last insulated tile in here. That was probably the tipping point that finally got the swamp to start condensing again. I wonder. Well, the problem this one would face would be I would need to install a new liquid bed. I'll hold off on that. That's doing a fine job of just kind of struggling to delete any heat from the area. Maybe after a bit more cooling, that one we will be able to start spinning normally.
Beep.
So even if those did get up to speed, I would still need more raw quantity of food production. I need a second larger farm. Gotta carve that out of somewhere, and that probably requires temperature control. Make sure it really behaves itself. did just free up this whole volume of former water storage. Anything could be done with this. Alright, so I need to gather these egg anywhere else. I think that's the ticket here. Going to do scaling up of critters via mass egg wrangling in a more effective manner. In a non-drowning pit manner. Wait, I could just install my Wheeze ward down here. Use those for a bit of climate control. Wheezing will help. And at any time, I could release a couple tons of CO2. And that cooling loop is now primed, so we'll do a little bit of temperature mitigation down here. The current 2 dosing units were successfully keeping up with the amount of heat involved in the base. Yeah, troubleshooting the geothermal plant is much more important than alleviating the day-to-day symptoms of famine. Famine is itself a symptom of a poorly calibrated geothermal plant.
Yeah.
All problems are thermal problems. Energy is food, with extra steps.
Food is energy. Energy is food. You are energy. You are food. That kind of thing.
That's just
It's
math.
fine. Yeah. That's how math works.
That's just carbon. Alright, I've wrangled the chlorine back down into the corner. Yeah, so the swamp cool is back underway. Healthy chilling element. So just an air freshener there. And there. Those will decontaminate the upper section. Yeah, the power that's no longer running that pump will instead run an incubator. Yeah, just the one off that circuit. Still too much hydrogen in here. This one tiny oxygen vent still hardly has a chance. Look, every 6 additional days that the colony limps forward, we get slightly more haystone hatch. Get eaten. Every 6 days we limp forward, we do another cycle of bristle blossom, and we get a little closer to having many blossoms. Nails is dead.
Incredible. Starved to death. Nails, I'm sorry.
The food problem is self-correcting.
You can get new dupes anytime. It's not a big problem. What was
Get
Nails even
a
good
new
at?
Nails from the store later.
Yeah.
Nails was one of our farmers? Well, wait, also, Catalino here was being trained up as replacement farmer, so actually it's fine. Frankie is dead. Frankie was our chef. How did our chef die?
That's interesting. Too busy cooking to actually eat.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, Otto, you're an engineer. That makes you a chef. Close enough.
What's the difference, really, when you get down to it? Welding.
Look, you need to oversee chemical reactions at temperatures in controlled environments. There's specifications. It's fine.
And welding is just making a sandwich. Just with metal.
Yes. That part of sandwich making where all the parts end up fused together and indistinguishable from each other.
I mean, yeah, if you're making a good sandwich.
And Rowan was one of our scientists? Which is also fine. We still have one of everything. Food problems are self-correcting. Look, if they're starving when there's 6 tons of perfectly edible dirt right there, how is that my problem? This is clearly user error. As independent operators of the colony, they should be able to sort this out for themselves. Alright, there's now very good times at the East geothermal. They are very keeping up with the heat. We have hands-free power.
Means we have hands-free food.
Yes. There we go. Alright, that was a problem. Plumbing mishap. Drained the recycled water out of the bathroom. As can happen. Just give it a quick refill. critter incubator and graveyard. And maybe small amount of backup farm. We'll see. There's a bit of climate wrangling to do. Probably load another charge into this loop. There, it's fine. Dupe life expectancy is until something goes wrong. So forever, because everything's fine.
Yeah. Dupes. They're functionally immortal. Also literally immortal.
Also, extremely mortal.
Yes, they're all of these things at once. Listen, immortal just means they won't die because of, I don't know, arbitrary reasons for why you just describe what immortality means. Because it's not real. Immortality is defying entropy and therefore fake.
Well, thus Chilldozer alone is immortal.
Yes. Well, that was true regardless of what was going to be happening, you know?
Chilldozer's only weakness is that the world could fail to bring Chilldozer into existence. Yeah, let's see how dense is the water in this pipe right now? 3? 3 with some pockets of 9. Yes, if I just drip that in there, this should equalize pretty well. So we have people whose top priorities are digging, doctoring, which really just means that Abe slides down to being a logistics dupe. We have our primary rancher / decorator. We no longer have a lead researcher, but I think that's fine. Otto was never assigned a profession, really.
Otto just kind of was around, just doing stuff.
Otto was helpful.
Otto's profession is friend.
Okay, this time we should be able to get creatures to start accumulating in large numbers. The gravestone gets taller after a body has been interred in it. Interesting. And we have a saltwater flood. Also interesting. Suppose at some point I'll have to start using all of this material. Eventually. Anyway. That's a plurality of the crises which we're facing the chill base. Brought under control. There is power. There is ice. Food will happen. And, yeah, the swamp is unboiling. The steam is receding. Greater populations are present. It's fine. Just wanted to get the base over that hump. Next time, maybe some tentative reach for space. Or more importantly, continuing to finish disentangling those problems and go deep. Could go deep. Could go in for more thermal power. Next time.